Welcome to Shom Achshav on the Daf Shir sponsor Nishmas HaMe'akashol and Daf Basitzchok. We're holding in Basra Daf Sai. The Gemara at the end of the base brings Rish Lakish that says Rabanan loitzrichi netirusa. Rabanan don't need to be guarded. Meaning, when we're talking about paying for the security of the town, Rabanan don't need to participate in the payment. Because Rabanan don't need Shmira. They are the Shomim themselves. They are guarded themselves. And the Gemara brings two psukim to that. One is Kechoyla Shasfas Hayam, and the other pasuk is Ani Choyma. They are guarding the city. They are guarded. They don't need Shmira. The Chazon Ish already asked the question that V'chisoyimchim alanes. Will Rabbanon be relying on a nes, on a miracle, not to need Shmira? So Chazon Ish says, Var Chidush, he says the only time we say the Rabbanon don't need a Shmira is only as much as that there is a me'aratzas in the city, that they can pay for the shmir. But if it's a city only of a Tamir Chachamim, which then there's soymech alanes, so then the enichanami have to pay for shmira. And maybe the ohinik kavon of the Chazon Ish is based on the yisoid that the Chidah brings, and many of the Sfarim mention it, that the nisim, a nes, can happen if it's covered, if it's a hidden nes. Because the world, the Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't want to have nisim in the world, begalui, unless there's some special occasions. In general, we're not relying on a miracle when it's galui. But a nes which is beseisa, which is hidden, that's a nes that we could rely on. And this is Rabbeinu Bechai, who mentioned in the Shurim that, similar to the Ramban, says that the nisim happen always. Kodesh Baruch Hu did nisim gluim only Mitzrayim. The rest of our life is nisim nistarim, so you could be relying on a nes nistar. So Avshal Chazon Ish means to say, when the Bechachah was part of a city, it's not apparent that he's relying on a nes. So then he doesn't have to participate in the shmira. But if there's nobody else in the city, so it's a nes galui, then you don't rely on it. But seemingly, the Nefesh HaChaim in Sha'adal Perek Tet Zayin disagrees with this. Because the Nefesh HaChaim is marich ba'arichus gedoyla to say that Tamid Chacham that is oisik b'toyra b'chol yom tamid. He doesn't need not a sword and not a shield. He doesn't have to have a guard. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mishar Be'atzmo, he quotes the Seder Liyo Rabbah. And it really depends on the level of Tamid Chacham. The more Tamid Chacham accepts upon himself the Inyani Torah, the old Torah, the more Shmira, the more guarding he has. And he brings our Gemara on the Hemshech Gemara going in Daf Ches. The Rabban loy tzrichi netirusa, they don't need to be guarded because if they're holding on to the Torah, so that's not a nes. That is how they live their life. They're living a life of Torah. Torah is magnu matzla, as we learned. And this connects beautifully to the Nefesh HaChaim earlier in Shar Gimel Perigud Beis, where there he goes on to say that even though there's something called kishuf, sorcery in the world, but a person who lives a life where he learns, he has in his mind, Einoin milvadoi, he lives a life that Kodesh Baruch Hu, so the kishuv cannot touch him. Someone who is completely engaged in the relationship with that Kodesh Baruch Hu, he lives a different level of life. He's not in the life of a regular person he has the dangers of the world. He lives at a different level of life. So the Nefesh HaChaim Shitosa is that really a person can choose, he can pick his mindset. Where is he living? Where does he belong to? A person can live a life of bitachon of Eidem B'Vadoi. A person can live a life of Torah with the only thing he has is Torah. And someone who's living in that level, he has a shmira. And Efshur Nefesh HaChaim is going to tell us it's not a nes. It's just a different place of life. It's a different area where a person belongs to. You belong to that area, you have a shmira, even if it's something which is apparent to all. Anyone who wants to join the Shom Achshav email us to Hotzikol, please email shomachshav@gmail.com.